Shalom, shalom, everybody. Glad to be back with y'all again. Back in business. Glad to be in the service one more time. Got a real timely message today. Well, it's timely for me. Personal for real, but a lot of times when you go through things, it's not just you that, can benefit from what you went through. Sometimes it's somebody else that might be going through something similar. So, for anybody who can benefit from it, anybody who can feel it, it's for you too. Let's start it off like this. We'll go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 23. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. This is the Good News Translation. Be careful how you think. Your life is shaped by your thoughts. And a lot of the Hebrew, the word la'ab is the word that's used for your heart, but it's also your mind. So it's talking about your mind and your way of thinking. That's the source of all your life. That's what this scripture is saying right there. Let's get let's see if we can get another translation. Basically, all saying the same thing. It said, watch over your heart with all diligence, for from its flow the springs of life. And let's get one of my favorites is the Amplified. It says, watch over your heart with all diligence, for from it flow the springs of life. Okay, we get it. Now let's go into these. Proverbs 12 and 25. Heaviness in the heart of a man maketh it stoop, but a good word maketh it glad. New Living Translation. Worry weighs a person down, but an encouraging word cheers a person up. Keep that in mind. Let's get this one. Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 21, verse 25. The lips of talkers will be telling such things as pertain not unto them, but the words of such as have understanding are weighed in the balance. Good News Translation. Presumptuous. Let's see what that word means real quick. Presumptuous is an adjective of a person or their behavior, failing to observe the limits of what is permitted, or appropriate. So basically, they got no chill, as people would say nowadays, or they said at least a few years back. These slang terms changed so much, it's hard to keep up. I ain't been around my younger siblings in a while, so they could put me on to what people saying now, but we used to say somebody got no chill. That's the person who's presumptuous. Webster's dictionary says it like this: overstepping due bounds, as of propriety was proper, or courtesy was courteous. Where people say a habitual line stepper, they always crossing that line. They don't care. They don't got no boundaries. That's a presumptuous person. And it's a sign that used to be up in classrooms, and I've seen it all over, and it goes like this. Even seen it on memes too. I might try to put the picture inside of here now that I've been experimenting with that program and stuff. Not program, but that app. It says think, and it's like a acrostic. T stands for, is it true? H is for, is it helpful? I is for, is it inspiring? N is for, is it necessary? That's my favorite one right there. Is it necessary? And K, is it kind? This is the stuff that used to be on, like I said, like on walls in classrooms in elementary school. But people grow up and get out of school and they forget the basics and the fundamentals, man. And oddly, them be the people who think they better than everybody else and think they are entitled to the optimal treatment. But they the main ones that's willing and ready to violate somebody else at all times. I don't get it, but such is life. Let's get back to that verse. It's Sirach 21:25 in the Good News. Presumptuous, and that's the word we just defined, like them habitual line steppers, them ones with no chill, no cut cards. Presumptuous people talk about things that are none of their business. But the wise will consider the consequences of what they say. Now, gotta think about things like, how would this make this person feel? Could it cause an argument or other strife between this person and other people? Is it absolutely necessary for this person to know this piece of information, etc., etc.? Sirach, chapter 28, verse 13, Good News Translation. Gossips and liars deserve to be cursed because they have been the ruin of many people who were minding their own business. And that's the standout one for me today, because that's exactly what I, experienced recently. But, there's a difference, and I think I spoke on this before. It's a difference between cursing and cussing. Cursing is when like witches and stuff, like they curse somebody to turn into a tree, or like in Snow White made a, like ate the apple. I think it's Snow White ate the apple and she went into a deep sleep and she only could be wakened by the kiss of a prince or something like that. Those are curses. Cussing are words, and for lack of better definition, I look at them as sentence enhancers. Like some people don't even realize or consider you to be serious in what you're talking about unless you sprinkle a couple of them little seasonings in there sometimes. So it's a difference between cursing and cussing. But that's another topic. We can talk about that another day. If y'all want to talk about that, do a whole little discussion on that. Put it down in the comment section that you want to talk about that. Or we could talk about it in the comment section. It don't matter. But continuing on, I was gonna be like semi-transparent and share an experience that happened to me, but I think we can just sum it up like this: when you know a person and another person or another collective group of people or whatever the case may be aren't on good terms with one another, what does a person gain by telling one person what another person who they already know don't care for them or already know they not on good terms with said about them? Now, it's a difference if it's a person and you see two people hanging together and the one person is constantly talking bad or talking down on the other person, and you might want to let them know that that person is not as much of a friend as they think they are. And even with that, you gotta be careful because some people don't believe nothing. Like you could tell them stuff, you can even show them proof in black and white, but until they ready to believe that and accept that, they not gonna hear that, and it might turn around and bite you in the butt. So sometimes it's good to mind your business on that too, and just pray for the person in the situation. But if you know for a fact that this person and this person, or this person and this group of people, or this group of people and this group of people don't rock with each other, what do you get out of going back and forth telling one person what the other one said, or what you heard about this one, or what you heard about that one? Like, what is the point of that? Like I said, there's been a run of people who was minding their own business. Like, if you live in life and you're not thinking about a person or a group of people, why would you want somebody to call you, and why would they consider their friend if they call you and just want to constantly give you information or intel on somebody they already know you don't rock with, you don't feel good about, you don't deal with? I never understood that concept. It's like, it's just, I mean, it's like madness to me, and it's just like nuisance. It's just like, why would you think somebody want to be around you when you do that? Even though I know some people that had two sides paying them to go back and forth and tell them information about the other one. So I guess some people might like it. I don't. I don't want to hear, if I don't rock with somebody, or if I don't get along with somebody or whatever, I don't want to hear nothing about them. Unless it's like some vital information, some life or death that I know it, then it's like really keep it to yourself. Talk about it with that person, you know? And just like I seen meme say, don't tell me what somebody said about me without you telling me what you said to defend me in that situation. Like, don't tell me you was so mad or whatever the person said about me made you so mad. But then I see you and that person still hanging together. You must have wasn't that mad. You couldn't have been that mad about it. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't know, man, but it's like it's a different world that we living in these days, man. And it be not even saying that ladies gossip or anything like that, but it's like it's even more palatable and more, you could take it from ladies doing that. But when you see full grown men doing that, it comes out weird to me. Like Dame Dash said, it's a lot of chatty patties. And you see a lot of guys getting paid to gossip, like on mainstream television and mainstream whatever. So I guess the world is just very different now. But that's not the way that I grew up. And that's not something that I don't think I ever get used to or be able to accept. And in turn, I can't accept people who do that, you know? It's like, I don't know. But it's just not something that's good, and it's not good for your mental health. You know, people focus on mental health these days and stuff like that. It's not good for your mental health to be entertaining that type of stuff, man, and have people bringing you that. Especially if you're in a good mood and somebody just bring you something and make your heart stoop, like that proverb that we read in the beginning, that Proverbs 12 and 25 said. They bring you heaviness in your heart and it make you stoop, like it make you just mess your whole day up for real, you know? I stay away from people that do that. Let me say, many times people will talk to you. Basically, that's another meme that I saw. I said many times people will talk about you because they can't talk to you. So it's like if you being the talebearer and you bring in the message, you bring in the bone, so to speak. You know, like you consider yourself being a friend, but really what you're doing is like somebody shot at you and you got away and you got to somewhere where they ain't even know where you was at. They can't reach you. And then somebody that's supposed to be your friend come in. You thought was your friend come in with a knife and they stab you up because the person that was trying to shoot you couldn't get you. You see what I'm saying? I remember back in the day, I'm a big wrestling fan. Well, I'm a big old school wrestling fan. The new product is different and it's not really for me. I'm not going to say it's bad, good, whatever, but it's not really to my liking. But the old school wrestling used to be my thing, man. My dad, my cousin Gene, made both of them rest in peace. Like they used to take me down to the Baltimore Arena, well, it's Roy Farms Arena now, but back in those days it was called the Baltimore Civic Center. And they used to take me to the matches and stuff like that. And I used to watch it on TV every week. Like my mom, I never got punished 2 years though. My mom was just like, you can't watch TV. And she, I didn't care about the rest of the programs. I could take or leave, but she would specifically say you can't watch wrestling because she knew that's what I loved. And I was looking at some old school wrestling, and there was a gentleman on there, a black gentleman by the name of Thunderbolt Patterson. Like, if you never heard of him, look him up. He was one of the greatest talkers on the mic. Matter of fact, some of your favorites took cues from him. I'm not even going to say the name. If you listen to him talk, and then you think about the old school wrestling back then, I bet you think of somebody who sound just like him. Imitated him to a T. But he got the credit. The other person got the credit over him. But they said he was the right connection for the right complexion for the connection. But something he said resonates with me to this day. He said, can't nobody hurt you except for the person you let get close enough to you to hurt you. So it's like, it's not your enemies all the time that get you. It's somebody that you thought was your friend. You know, in the New Testament, they got the story of Judas and the Messiah. It didn't say the one when he betrayed him. He didn't say the one that I come up to him and cuss him, or the one that I say you ain't this and you ain't that. It said the one I kiss. That's the one you want. So it's like a lot of times the person that you think is your friend could be setting you up for failure or could be bringing stuff to you, bringing harm to you for real. You know, whereas even in Proverbs it said when your neighbor wake up and greet you with a loud voice, it should be counted as a curse. Sometimes when people giving you praise, heavy praise in front of everybody, then, you know, sometimes they doing that so somebody else can come behind it and tear you down. Like, it always feel like set up to me when somebody just out of nowhere just shout me out and show me bad love. You feel me? I'm be like, hold on, what's the catch? What's getting ready to happen? That's not nothing that I'm really fond of. Not saying that I can't take compliments or accept compliments, but when it's excessive, like that's flattery, like excessive praise, when you just going over the top with it. Like, all right now, all right. What the brother Q for 112 said on that video the other day, he said, man, collect yourself. That's what you want to say sometimes, man. Collect yourself. Chill, y'all. But you know, like I said, many times people talk about you because they can't talk to you. So if they said it, they said that to you. Well, there's no need for you to come and tell me what was being said and stuff like that. So, you know, whole time, man, these people think they help you. Some of them actually do think they helping you. But it's like, just by bringing gossip, nah, it's not helping me at all. Like I said, if it's a life or death situation, something vital, something crucial that you heard, then yeah. bring that. But just somebody said, oh, your feet stink, you talk funny, you look funny, stuff like that. Come on, man. I remember when I was young, real young, like in elementary school, I came home one day heated. And I was like, Ma, I was getting ready to bang this boy in his mouth today. And my mom was a teacher, so the last thing she wanted was her son fighting and acting unruly or whatever the case may be. But she probably thought I probably would have got beat up because I wasn't never no tough guy, nothing like that. Never claimed to be, even to this day. Never. I'm always on my peaceful, whatever. But I'm protected by the Most High. But, either way, she ain't want me fighting. And I was like, about to bang this boy in the mouth today. He's like, why? I said, he was talking about you. And she said, what did he say? And I'm just saying, rattling off all the stuff that the guy said or whatever. And she's like, baby, have you ever seen me? Well, she said has. She didn't say have. She would have probably smacked me in the back of the neck for that. She was a stickler for speaking proper English. But she said, has he ever seen me? I said, no. Does he know me? No. Then why are you getting upset? That person don't know me. Why are you getting upset about? And people be so heated and so firm and they, I got to tell you this. And I know you don't want to hear it. And then people start, that's their line they start with, I know you don't want to hear it. I know you don't like talking about this. But well, if you know that, why would you bring it to me? That's just grounds for terminating a friendship. And that's basically what this message is about, man. Just separate yourself from people who always constantly bring negativity, always constantly trying to bring strife and beefing and contention around you and stuff like that, man. Why you want to be around them for? If you peaceful, you not living like that. The Bible say, can two walk together except they be agreed? If you know for a fact that you on one page and this person on a whole nother page, you don't got no common ground, or no common ground that's worth salvaging a relationship. Like, you don't got to wish bad on them. You don't got to, be angry at them, but it's just certain people you just got to separate yourself. You see them coming this way, you go that way, That's all. But, yeah, man. That's basically all I had to say for real, but it was a couple of other notes that I had written down that I wanted to make sure that I brought out. And it's like, I saw something earlier that say, like, your tribe, if you find yourself constantly walking on eggshells, that's not your tribe. And in a perfect world, we would just be able to, your friend, you'd be able to just speak freely, say anything to your friend, because that's your friend. But I got to gut check. The scripture came to me, Micah 7:5. Trust ye not in a friend. Put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. Contemporary English version. Don't trust anyone, not even your best friend, and be careful what you say to the one you love. It's a brother on YouTube called Captain Saver Bro, and he dropped an excellent video on pillow talking, and that goes perfectly with what we saying right here. So it's like, man, you gotta watch yourself around everybody. Just be on guard. These are them days, for real. The days of Micah 7. Like, read that chapter if y'all get a chance, for real, because it really describes what's going on now. A lot of times people always refer to Revelation. And Revelation is definitely nailing it with a lot of stuff that's going on too. But that, even in the Old Testament, man, what the Most High say, he did not change. So even in the Old Testament, he was letting us know these days that we in now, for real. I want to leave everybody with this, and then we going to pretty much wrap this up. This is Proverbs 6:16 in the Good News Translation. There are 7 things that Yah, the Most High, hates and cannot tolerate. A proud look, somebody just arrogant, thinking they better than everybody, walking around, as people say, with their nose in the air, looking at everybody like they beneath them. A lying tongue, that's pretty clear to understand. Hands that kill innocent people, been saying that scripture a lot recently. A mind that thinks up wicked plans, people that think up a whole bunch of lies and stuff to tell on somebody, say about somebody. Feet that hurry off to do evil. Feet that hurry off to run and tell some guys to get on the phone and tell you some stuff that's irrelevant to your life. And someone who stirs up trouble among friends. Like, to keep it a buck, some of them people that's carrying the gossip is being counterproductive to what they think they're doing. Like, some people think that if they put this in this person here and put that in that person here, these people gonna meet up and maybe they can come to a resolution. If that's what you're hoping to get by it, some people, the more you talk, some people would buckle about that. You heard you say this about me. You heard you say that about me. But people like me, the more you hear stuff like that, the more they make you go the opposite way. So it's making it even worse, making the situation even worse. There, some people might think they make it better. Let people work out what they gotta work out in their own time. You don't always have to help, because that's what some people be thinking they doing, helping, but they really making more of a mess. And that's for the innocent ones, or the not the flying monkeys that's being told and they know what they doing. But let's look up something real interesting. Innocent. Doing the definition for innocent. This comes from dictionary.com. Having or showing the naivete, being naive, of an unworldly person. Like, you don't know how stuff go on in the world. You've been sheltered and stuff like that. Guileless, which is a good thing. You don't have no guile. You ain't trying to fool nobody. Ingenuous. Uninformed or unaware. And last adjective, last synonym, ignorant. And just like being nice, the original word for nice is stupid. So be careful of being, once again, too nice and too innocent. And learn some stuff, man. Like they say, man, just learn some stuff, man. Don't be just always just go with whatever. What they say, the simple believeth every word, but the wise man look well into his going. Inform yourself. Know exactly what's going on. Know the whole situation before you speak. Last verse for this week. Proverbs 4:23. I think we're going to title this one that. Keep thy heart with all diligence. We already read it, but we just doubling down on it. For out of it are all the issues of life. Good News Translation. Are the issues of life. I'm sorry, I added a word. Ain't supposed to add, I'm going to take away. Let's read that again. Proverbs 4:23. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Good News Translation. Be careful how you think. Like I said, the heart and the mind are synonymous here. Your life is shaped by your thoughts. The enemy wants you to think poorly of yourself because, we got some more. Sirach 4:21, Good News Translation. Humility deserves honor and respect, but a low opinion of yourself leads to sin. That's why the enemy wants you to think low of yourself, because as long as you think low, you'll do anything. You do whatever they want you to do. If you think you just a piece of crap or some mud on somebody's shoe, you'll do anything to try to fit in, try to belong, whatever. Sirach, one more, Sirach chapter 10, verses 28 through 30, or a couple more. And on these principles right here is the majority of what I stand for. Like definitely Most High first in all things and everything. But this is right out of this book. But this is something that I've experienced firsthand. So it's like I could speak to you with conviction about this stuff. Some stuff I could come and speak about. Some stuff I could even gather knowledge and look it up all day. But the stuff that resonates with me when I read the book are loving yourself and the effects of when you don't, not over loving yourself to where you become conceited or where you feel like nobody can tell you nothing, but having the right amount of love for yourself. Just like it's great, like I said, humility deserves honor and respect, but a low opinion of yourself leads to sin. This is Sirach 10, 28 through 30. It says, wait a minute. My child, keep your self-respect, but remain modest. Value yourself at your true worth. And Psalms 8 and 5 say he has made me or us, all of us, a little lower than the angels and crowned us with glory and honor. So that's not nobody to be stepped on. That's not nobody to be, just like feeling like crap about yourself. Psalm 139:14 says, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. So we got something to be happy about, man. Put your head up. Don't be walking around with your head hanging down and kowtowing to people and begging people to let you be their friend or to let you be part of whatever it is that they got going on that's popular or whatever the case may be, or that you think is cool. Whatever the case may be, man. You somebody. Anything? Yeah, man. Just cut that out, man. All of us. Say when you love yourself, you won't have to be subject yourself to ill treatment just so you can, like I said, fit in or belong. I know I belong to the Most High. So as much as I love people and enjoy fitting in where I can fit in, where it's possible, where it said possible be at peace with all men, I know, like my mama said, that if nobody don't want to hang out with me or be cool with me, my mom used to say, you'll live. you'll survive. You know? So it's like, as long as the one that made me happy with me and I feel like I'm doing the things that make him happy and I'm seeing the fruits of it, I'm seeing the results of it, that peace that only he can give, that's what's most important. Let's get back to verse 29. There is no excuse for a person to run himself down. No one respects a person who has no respect for himself. Verse 30. Poor people can be honored for their good sense, and rich people can be honored for their wealth. So your financial status neither makes you automatically honorable or disqualifies you from honor, because even if you don't have any money, if you got some wisdom and knowledge, you still got something that you can feel good about yourself. You feel me? So if you ain't got no money, work on your wisdom and knowledge, and with you getting wisdom and knowledge, who knows, you might find a way you get some money. You know? So man, just don't beat yourself up and don't put yourself like you just gotta be a doormat or a rug for somebody else to walk on. You know, I hate to see it happen. I've been there, I've done that, and I don't want it for anybody else, for real. And we gonna cut it off right here, man. This we ran a little long. I'm used to recently I've been getting in and out, but this is something that I had to speak on at a little bit of length. Hopefully and prayerfully it'll bring some, like some answers to somebody or some clarity to somebody. And if it does, man, just hit that like button for your brother. I mean, it's not necessary. I ain't sitting here, like stressing it or nothing like that. But it do feel good to know that what you did was received and was appreciated. And I thank you to everybody for taking out the time to sit here and watch, especially with me talking this long this time. Thank y'all so much. Much love. Most High continue to bless and keep each and every one of y'all. I'm sorry that I wasn't here last week. I had a mishap with if you seen on my little community section, I had a mishap with my little tripod or whatever. But all praise to the Most High. We back in business. And hopefully and prayerfully we will be for a nice little while to come. Love each and every one of y'all. Thank you so much. Yah Baruch. Shalom, shalom.